And welcome to Professor Kev Show. As you can see, I have my friend Abel with us, and she's from Arturo Healing Hearts. Hello, my friend.
Hi,
Thanks for taking the time to come on the show today.
of
So,
course.
before we jump in and talk about your idea, tell us a little bit about yourself. What should we know about you?
I'm a high schooler. I'm going into junior year this year. And I've been playing the violin since I've been in third grade, so music's a huge part of my life. Um, and I'm so excited to be here, so thank you so much.
Thanks for making the time for me. So, let's talk about your idea. Why did you start this? What need, what opportunity did you see?
So it actually happened very naturally. Last summer, I was volunteering at a hospital just as a regular volunteer. And at some point, my volunteer services manager and I were talking, and I mentioned that I play the violin, and she asked me if I was any good. And I said, I think I
Fair
am.
enough.
I said,
Okay.
I think I am. And so she asked whether I would be willing to bring my violin the next time I would come, and then I would come play. Because before COVID, they actually had a music program. So there'd be kids who came in and play. So it was the whole idea to maybe start it up again. So the next time I went in, I brought my violin and I played at the hospital. I loved the experience. But what really stayed with me was what happened afterward. So I went home and started wondering, why isn't there more of this? Because there's so many talented musicians in middle school and high school who have spent years learning their instrument like I have. And they practice constantly, playing orchestras and ensembles, audition and perform. But I started to really wonder why there wasn't an easier way to for them to take those skills and use them to do something meaningful for somebody else instead of just performing on a stage. So that's really where the idea Arturo Healing Hearts started. And I began thinking about whether I could create something that would connect young musicians with hospitals and healthcare facilities and then give them a way to use their music for good.
So now, when you're going to play in the hospital, are you bringing friends with you? Are we turning this into like a concert, if you will?
Usually it's a solo thing, so kids are allowed to decide what days they want to come in,
Yep.
um, and what time they want to come in because we want to provide flexibility since being a high schooler or middle schooler is so hard already, and also if like all these other extracurriculars that you may be doing,
Yep.
we want to provide them the opportunity to choose what times they could do so they could still do something meaningful, but keep what the other things that they love in their life.
Makes sense. Tell me about the experience watching the people watch you play, especially now, can they do requests? Like maybe some old time songs that way, way before you were born and stuff.
um, there's definitely been so many great experiences and they're so varied. I've had song requests before and I would not know the song at all, but I tried and then they
Mhm.
appreciated that in
Yep.
general, even though it may not have been perfect. It
Yep.
definitely wasn't perfect. But but there's been everything from song requests to actually the other day I was playing and somebody started crying because of the the meaning behind like somebody wanting to come in and play,
Yep.
and that's what they were doing and they were devoting their time to come in and play. And the person who was actually crying was a patient, and the patient used to play the piano as well. So um I think it just really was important to them and meaningful that there was somebody coming in to play music, and playing music had also been a big part of their life. So it just been such a great connection for them.
So tell me about finding other people that want to play. What's that experience been like?
That experience has been a bit stressful in the beginning, I want to say. Um, so originally I started emailing schools and their music directors around my school and around where I lived, because I know that there's so many talented musicians in my area because I also do orchestra outside of school and I know all these talented musicians. And so I started emailing them, telling them about my organization. Um, and so a lot of them were very excited to share this information with their students. So then after that, the students that I would have already onboarded, they would start telling their friends because they just loved it. And when I talk to my volunteers about their experiences, their eyes just light up, and it's like the nicest thing in the world. Because when I've been talking to volunteers and they tell me that when they originally signed up to be a volunteer, they didn't really understand the meaning of them signing up to be a volunteer. But then when I talk to them later on, they're like, well, this great experience happened. And then they tell me all about it. And I'm so
Mhm.
happy for them. And they really enjoy what they're doing. So it's so sweet.
That's kind of neat. Okay, it's crystal ball time, my friend. 3 years from now, where do you see this idea?
Oof. Okay. So it's hard. But in 3 years, I'd really love for Arturo Healing Hearts to be a sustainable organization that has become bigger than just me and hopefully bigger than just New Jersey, because that's where I'm from. So
Yeah.
I'd love to have a strong network of trained musicians serving at hospitals throughout New Jersey, hopefully past New Jersey, but with established relationships, clear pathways for students to become properly onboarded at healthcare systems we partner with. I'd also like to build a stronger student leadership structure so that experienced Arturo volunteers can mentor younger musicians and eventually help lead different parts of the organization. Because ultimately, if I leave for college and Arturo only works because I'm personally sending every email, which I am, but interviewing every student and coordinating everything myself, then I haven't really created a sustainable organization. And I would also love to see our Pediatric Music Initiative, which is what we're working on right now, to get music into pediatric wings of hospitals, or, just so kids can experience music, because it's hard to get. It's pediatric is usually very restrictive on volunteers. So we're trying our best, but I'd really love to see that initiative develop so that children who might not be able to experience a live musical visit can still have access to music that will be recorded specifically by our volunteers for them.
All right. So first, I really love that you understand the importance of sustainability. I've seen so many great ideas in your exact situation. It's all about Ava. We take Ava out, it's gone, unfortunately, and that just stinks. Random question: where'd the name come from?
The name is actually named after my violin. So it was a long story how I got it. I originally had a different violin, and then one of my friends, we have this whole ceremony at my school when, if somebody's going to buy a new instrument, they bring in multiple. So my friend brought in the violin, and he brought in three others as well. And so um, we got to hear it. And so we like cover our eyes to see which one we like to listen to best. And then, I was concert master at the time. So my instructor actually asked me to play it as well. So then we could get a good listen. And so, because she's amazing. So you want to actually hear how a student would play on it. So I played the violins, and then I found this one I really liked. And so on the inside of every violin, it has a tag with the maker and the year that it was made.
Okay.
Um, and so I don't remember the whole maker's name, but I remember part of his name was Arturo. And so that's what we called him for our ranking system. And I love that violin. Um, my friend did not get that violin, but then I moved to Portugal for a semester. And then I was like, I'm never going to see that again. And then I come back from Portugal, and my mom decided that she wanted to surprise me. So she talked to my instructor, got the violin from the person who was selling it, and then she surprised me with it. So I decided to name the violin Arturo. And
Okay.
then
I'm
when I
crying
was,
hearing the story, so I'm sure when you saw it, you must have teared up.
yeah. And then when I had my mom ask me, because I was telling her all about my idea to create the organization, because I was like so excited. I came home. I was like, oh my God, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to what happened today. I have this great idea. She's like, but what would you call it? And I was like, well, what else would I call it? I'd call it Arturo.
Nah, I assumed there was a story behind it and stuff, so that was a cool story. So, what's the best way for people to reach out to you to learn more, my friend?
Well, the best way for people to reach out to me would probably be through my website. So there is a chat there, so they could personally chat, and I get emails. It's not an AI chatbot; it's me. So I get all those emails. I respond to them. Or you, if you're interested in signing up, there's a sign up page. Or if you would also like to just send me an email, it's arturohealinghearts@gmail.com.
What's the website, my friend?
Our it's arturohealinghearts.org. So, of
Awesome. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
course, thank you so much for inviting me.